I've always had a fascination with random subcultures, although I've never been part of any myself, which is why the Urbz for Game Boy Advance has always resonated with me. However, I'd never been exposed to the console counterpart of the Urbz Sims TM in the city until today, where I'm going to see what all the fuss is about and see why I was not allowed this game as a child as opposed to the Game Boy Advance version. The Urbz Sims in the City was released in November 2004 for Gamecube, PlayStation 2 and Xbox. It was published by EA and developed by Maxis. I will be playing on the Gamecube version of the game, and spoiler alert I guess. So without further ado, on with the game! The game begins moving out of our mum's house with our grand dreams into the big city, aptly named Urbzville, where we choose from a grand array of 9 districts to begin our adventure. I opt to start in Neon East, where it's said the gadget-loving rave crowd hang out. They have Dance Dance Revolution machines, pachinko machines, and a sushi bar with notable characters. From Professor Chewy to Loop-de-Loop, we start the game wearing the most yawn-inducing outfit, and there she is, Pooh Irby, born despite all odds. And after struggling with the controls for a while, we begin by meeting William from the Black Eyed Peas and Darius, one of our many boyfriends from the Game Boy Advance game. I whip out my guitar and I do be playing it for them, but not for long, as William then reminds us that we need to pay our rent. I struggle with the controls again, but I do manage to make some sushi for the folks down in Neon East. I do be canoodling with them, telling a few jokes, get those laughs flowing. And they really do be eating that sushi. Suddenly, this Tom of Finland looking ass comes strutting in and then immediately struts out. But I'm not gonna lie guys, I'm really not fitting in. Look at the state of me, I am not serving. So I head to the store and I am now living my Gyaru fantasy with my new fit. Hashtag outfit of the day bitch. With only 5 simoleons left to my name, I run as fast as I can to throw some rubbish in the bin, shortly followed by a dance around the rave tower. So sly, I'm ready to make my mark in this town. I attempt to kiss Professor Chewy, however, I'm met with rejection and what I can only imagine to be his girlfriend Venus slapping me. Well, bitch, you can have him. Well, frig the lot of you. I'm in a foul mood now. I head home, pop all my furniture down that William has given me. I've got a couch, a fridge, a shower. What more could a girl ask for? And for all that, I earn a pet bulldog, which I'm sure will ruin my life in the future. I'm sick of the sight of Neon East now. So conveniently, Darius invites us for drinks in Cosmo Street, where the band the Black Eyed Peas all hang out. Darius is already backstage, but the bouncer won't let little old Pooh in. I use my skills as a human beatboxing. Yes, human beatboxing, just to see if that helps. But if you can just imagine the Joker beatboxing. However, it didn't get me backstage, so I try pulling a few pints for the Black Eyed Peas, and William decides that I'm worthy enough to learn a social move called Eurokiss, which in theory sounds exotic, but you know what? It's just like a peck on 2 cheeks, it's not that interesting. I tickle Fergie, and they do be walking the walk, but can they talk the talk? And sometimes you do gotta tickle all of the Black Eyed Peas, am I right? I head to Fergie's Finery to dress up as all of the Black Eyed Peas. And did I mention that the Black Eyed Peas were in this game? I explore some of the options, which included this interesting piercing, which I was tempted to get. And after swallowing some swords for all of my adoring fans, and being taught how to pub dance with advanced British woman Fergie, I pub song with all of the Black Eyed Peas until we can pub no more. I finally canoodled enough to land myself backstage, but not for long, as William's arch nemesis, Orangu McBain, local nuisance with his white man dreads and questionable nipple piercings. So after bullying money out the millionaires that are the Black Eyed Peas, Orangu decides to take money from little old Pooh. Mate, listen, I'm on your side. Let me ask you a question. Why do we even have these help to buy ices? After all that excitement, tummy ache survivor Pooh decides that she needs a poo, has a painful shite. Finally, I've built up enough rep to unlock an area named Diamond Heights, where all the elite cunty herbs slay and stay. However, I am an exception to the rule. I Euro kiss them all and they are eating that shit up. I'm overwhelmed when I'm walking the catwalk. The various camera angles are confusing and the bastard bouncer won't let me in again, so I decide to block the door. In Diamond Heights, I earn my keep by modelling and buy some of the most expensive gowns I have ever laid my eyes on. I reluctantly change myself to fit in, and by the time I've finished doing the doings, I get to the after party and it's already over. So whack on the telly, love, and we watch a bit of Is It Cake, and I'm fucking loving this. So I hang around waiting for the ever elusive Darius to arrive and get taught how to vogue, and no one can stop me from voguing now. So after a good night's kip with my eyes wide shut, that's for you movie people, I head to the next area. Southside Bridge, known as the seedy area full of tough herbs. I decide to breakdance and charm the locals. However, my efforts go unnoticed. I meet Quentin Tarantino and I force him to pose for the camera and make him slay. So I go become Quentin in the Quentin store and put on a very Prudence coded outfit, but alas, as always, I do not have enough rep to get past the bouncer, and all I needed was one last cheeky vogue to push through the rep boundary so I can get past him and see dearest Darius. In the process, I also have seemed to have unlocked another home, Blankwood Towers, to put all my shite. There's also a wardrobe in there with a Roxanna Moxie cosplay in it. So, in the spirit of Roxanna Moxie, God rest her soul, I head to the next district I have unlocked, Skyline Beach. Crazy thing is, there's no beach. First things first, nap time. However, it's not long before I become chums with notable citizens like Ridiculous DOG, who teaches me how to rap at the patrons of what is often described as Tar Beach. I change the old threads and give myself a tramp stamp to fit in with my new mates, Toot Sweet and Little Bit. Whilst sunbathing on the rooftop, another one of the antagonists comes along, and of course it's my bloody landlord, fucking Del Boy. Well, anyway, yet again, me and Darius be ships passing in the night, as I, again, do not have enough rep to get backstage, as per usual. But once I've spoken to Darius, I can move on through to Gasoline Row for some gasoline. I go and check out what clothes are on offer, but I'm not going to beat around the bush, guys. They're all so fucking boring. And then I accidentally took off my Gyaru makeup, and it's all going wrong, but we power on. I grab a sausage, blow fire for many a patron of gasoline and make it to the party, and Darius gives me this thing so I can chug-a-lug an enemy. Now, let me tell you about what I experienced in the goth hub that is Central Station. Upon entering the underground station, I'm somewhat reminded of my experience in the Deep Sea Metro. I'm hoping to find myself a handsome isopod in a tailored suit who will talk to me about plushies. However, I'm met by Scary Mary and Beelzebub Jones, and yet again I change my appearance to fit in with these lovely people here in the station. And I'm not gonna lie, Pooh is always slaying. I decide to blow some fire for Scary. I just want her to be my friend. Well, one thing leads to another and she's fucking on fire, everyone. Suddenly, Orangu McBain has come along for the show too. What have I done? Beautiful Scary's on fire. I attempt to put out the fire. Then, of course, the emergency services turn up. It's bloody typical. Scary, are you okay? You were like burning for 5 minutes down there. Once she arises from her ashes, I get back to blowing fire for her again, and she is happy as Larry. So after headbutting the rest of the goths multiple times, I pass the bouncer and enter the fighting cage. Orangu McBain stands no chance against me. I'm a fucking madman. I beat up absolutely nothing. I head to Kicktail Park. Just call me Avril Lavigne, cause she was a skater boy. Anyway, I get dolled up in the old threads of the district. I put on these weird chino shorts with socks, and they have an option to put on flip-flops, so you know, I'm not going to say no to a pair of flip-flops. And it like, they're like leg warmer sock. What's going on? It's going on. I'm wearing this. But working my job at skating the board, I try and go for a little nap whilst doing my job, because that is part of the job. I'm getting changed and I get stuck between the confines of the curtain. I feel like maybe I can wait it out, you know, see if like my needs being depleted can get me out of this situation. One of the next antagonists comes along, Kiki Blunt, ready to bully me out of my pocket money. Trapped within the confines of my curtain, I am safe. This is my little haven. Reluctantly, I have to restart from my last save state, and Kiki Blunt ends up bullying me out of my money, and it makes me so sad that I have lost the plot and I'm just splashing around in the fountain. Nevertheless, I pass the bouncer and go and inhale some bloody air and headbutt all my new skater friends. The final area I've unlocked, named the Foundry, a place where all the artsy bohemian hipsters hang out. I headbutt all the hipsters too. Seems like I've finally found my people. And right on time, Kiki Blunt waltzes on in, but you know what, she can piss right off. After earning my keep as a famous sculptor, I earn my money to buy myself an outfit which will help me blend in with my new tribe of people. And guys, look at this. She is cunty poo. She is fucking slaying. And I get various skills from these hipsters. We can compare our phones and we do this weird little artsy dance. But all my efforts were in vain, as I cannot get into the party again. I'm like a broken record at this point. But this is the last party, everyone. All of my hipster friends are inside the party, and I am outside the party. And this is actually so shit. I'm feeling like Anastasia when she said she was feeling left outside alone. But once I get in, we can finally play Robot Wars. Suddenly, I see this gaunt bloke with a colander on his head, and I really want to speak to him, but me and Darius have some sort of miscommunication. I want to get out, he wants to get in, or I don't know, the colander guy wants to get in, I want to get out. I don't know, but he disappears, and you know what? He was the one who got away. Anyway, after defeating the 3 antagonists, throwing a boogie bomb at Harry Snivel and chugging Jug with him, we take sexy photos of Orangu McBain and throw a stink bomb at him. And then finally, we horrifically and terrifyingly mug Kiki Blunt. And then the next one was we kiss her, which was an event in itself. We finally achieve our ultimate goal of gaining access to Darius's penthouse by gaining all of Darius's secret machine parts from all the antagonists. Finally, maybe I'll get an opportunity to speak with our Darius. Well, it was a short-lived dream, as I'm watching a cutscene play out right before my very eyes. We follow him, stomping his way to the lift, all the way to the rooftop. All of the notable characters from each district are waiting there. I guess that was a farewell party, as Darius hands us the big fat pendant from around his neck. I guess we are now the Darius of our own life. Darius enters a subway cart, which I don't know whether they're called subway carts, I'm just calling them that. Which is actually attached to a blimp, Industrial Revolution style, and he rides off into the sunset. And well, I guess that's it. I decide to go back to the other areas after maxing all my skill points, which consisted on mashing the A button. Whilst on screen, I'm in an intense rap DJ battle with Heisenberg from Jesse Pinkman in the house show. I work all these jobs from the different districts, which is a lovely rhythm game and makes my brain nice and smooth. I also decide I want to explore my options in the old romance department. I noticed that my relationship with Quentin Tarantino is extremely low, so I run to whatever district he is from, and we tango, we snog, he dresses in a similar get-up to myself, I take pictures of him, I grab his arse, we snog again, and he also rejects me quite a lot, but that's the fiery kind of relationship that me and him have. Also, when I strip cheese for him, it like glitches out and lags, but it's fine, I guess. At the end of the day, this isn't the deep connection that my soul was searching for. I go back to Darius's penthouse, dressed in my comfiest of all comfies. I decide to give all my viewers a tour of my humble abode, like we're on that show where they show you their house. I've decorated the place accordingly. Look at this bedroom. We have a bed. And this is my first house with a toilet, and bloody hell, we've gone all out, we've got a bath. I surround myself with many a tank of fish, because this is what successful people do. Have fish tanks, but do they have fish? I don't know. And here, onto the drawing room, we have the fanciest fridge in all of Urbzville, and this massive archway, which I was told was all the rage from my friends down on Brookside.
Talking of that, you got over to see him? Talking of what, Michelle? The arch?
However, structurally speaking, it doesn't seem as though it would fit in the house, but who cares? It's my home, I make the rules. We come across this contraption that Darius has left behind, much like our old friend Frankie Fusilli, where we can print simoleons. I'm set for life. I have even earned myself a cheeky monkey, and he is very cheeky and also low-key stylish. After deciding to hit balls for a while, I retire to the hot tub and look across Urbzville within all the districts of all the weird and wonderful characters I've come across in my adventure. However, I find myself being brought back to one thought and one thought only. It's true what they say. It's lonely at the top. Funny facts! Does anyone want funny facts? Because I'm going to give you some funny facts, even if they aren't funny. The Urbz, it's the first Sims game to include weather. What a pioneer. There's a whole detailed pre-release article on the Cutting Room Floor's website about the development of the Urbz. The Urbz Sims in a City spent 4 whopping years in conceptual stages and development in comparison to the other Sims spin-off related projects, originally going into limbo after the first few years. It also had been planned to be a spin-off for the franchise, where Electronic Arts wanted to release multiple ports and merchandising, but was cancelled due to sales not meeting their expectations. The first preview wasn't shown until summer 2004, where the game felt very different. A few noticeable changes can be seen, such as characters having different appearances and different district layouts. Though it had a lukewarm reception in sales, it wasn't enough to warrant a sequel, therefore having it to extensively retheme the next console Sims title. There was also a scrapped PlayStation Portable port. It was planned for a release in 2005, but it got cancelled due to poor sales. According to some lost leaked screenshots found on a portfolio site in 2008, the game was pretty much a port of the PlayStation 2 version, except with the lower resolution graphics and draw distance. A Sims game for the PlayStation Portable using the Urbz engine would eventually come out in 2006 as The Sims 2 Pets. Also, they were going to plan to make the Urbz 2. Can you imagine a world where the Urbz 2 existed? There wouldn't be any problems. The world would be a better place. The Urbz 2 started development in the summer of 2004, a few months after the Urbz was originally revealed by EA. It would have introduced new features such as online play, multi-story housing, and children. You would have seen a release on the PlayStation 2, Gamecube, and Xbox consoles in 2005. The plot for the Urbz 2 took place directly after the first game, after the player's Urbz got famous in Urbzville. After that, the famed Urbz moves to SimCity, with the city itself making an appearance physically, and they suddenly find themselves without money or fame. Luckily, the player's Urbz is offered a place to stay, and they get enough money and rep to make themselves famous again. This game would have also featured a plot involving Daddy Big Bucks trying to buy out the city, while Jayde, that one with the purple hair, would have worked as the main Urbz sidekick. It would have also featured characters from the handheld games for the Game Boy Advance, such as Dusty Hog and Nora Zealot. Characters for the first game, the Black Eyed Peas I guess, would have made an appearance as well. Also, several locations, old and new, would have made an appearance in the game, which would have had multiple stories, subway entrances, clothing, furniture stores and workable jobs just like the original game. Due to poor sales of the video game, it got cancelled around December 2004, and the project was turned into what would later be called The Sims 2 for consoles. As the game had to be closer to the Windows counterpart, several features like the XAM, workable jobs and furniture clothing stores were all removed. Online play was also removed due to the declining usage of The Sims Online and The Sims Bustin Outs, Online Weekend and certain technological problems with the new engine for the 6th generation consoles. Even though it was scrapped from the Urbz 2 project, it was originally considered for inclusion in the Sims 2 consoles during development, but was later cancelled. Although an in-house line test was done and worked perfectly, which explains several features relating to the server data in the PlayStation 2's code. Other features like children and multi-story housing was removed due to technical limitations, even though references can be found in the files. As an apology to developers and other staff for wanting another The Urbz game, a few references like the portrait of the iToy filter of Jayde were added in. Through the files of The Sims 2 for consoles, tons of leftovers for The Urbz can be found, ranging from textures, XAM ringtones, and even some NPC thumbnails. It's also funny The Urbz has also appeared in the Sims 2 console version. For instance, when the Sim uses the metal detector and they find a copy of The Urbz, they throw it away in disgust. How rude. There's also a painting of a woman with purple hair which looks like Jayde, you know the woman I mentioned before? Well, it's a shame the sequel didn't happen. I feel like the connection to the other characters in the handheld version would have made me enjoy the console version even more. However, we can but dream. I hope that EA will make these spin-offs again. They were iconic and timeless. Although I don't think this game surpasses the Game Boy Advance version, I did thoroughly enjoy it, from the brain-dead minigame jobs to the funny characters in the weird districts and changing my outfits according to where I was on the map. I was sad that I couldn't talk to our Darius though, but he has moved on to pastures new in his blimp, and that's all that matters. God bless his soul. And I do kind of feel like I'm besties with all the Black Eyed Peas now. There was a lot to do, loads of social interactions we can earn, and the soundtrack is a banger. And you know what? Overall the vibes are immaculate. The only thing that connected us to the handheld version of the game though is in the Roxanne and Moxie and the Darius outfits that are in our wardrobes in Blankwood Towers. But I can see why this game was loved by so many people. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm also working on multiple videos at the same time, so be patient. Never forget, the moral of this game is that you should change who you are to fit in, because if you don't, you will miss your chance to meet Darius.
No,